Hey kids, I'm Oscar, and I'm going to talk to you about neuron cells, what they do, and why they're important for a healthy, functioning human body. So what is a neuron cell? A neuron cell is like a wire, a very thin wire that sends up to 50 messages every second from your brain to all parts of your body, and there are billions of them. So what does a neuron cell look like? The neuron cell has three main parts: the cell body, or soma, the axon, which is a cable-like structure that transports the information throughout the body, and there is the axon terminal, which passes the information and messages onto other cells. The soma also contains other organ-like parts called organelles. These include the nucleus, which is the brain of the cell, the energy production plants called the mitochondria, and there is the cytoplasm, which is a flesh-like substance which holds everything together. Neuron cells have a skin-like layer called the membrane. This controls what goes in and out of the cell body. There are also a bunch of other organelles which aren't so important to mention. Without neuron cells giving and receiving information and instructions 24/7, our brain wouldn't be able to control the rest of our body. This potentially meaning that our heart, muscles, or lungs might not receive any instructions at all. Certain illnesses can damage neuron cells, affecting our ability to walk, hold things, or even eventually breathe. So I hope you can see why neuron cells are really, really important to a functioning human body. So finally, how did we even discover neuron cells? It was all because of microscopes. Now, what is a microscope? As Oxford Dictionary states, a microscope is an optical instrument used for viewing very small objects, such as mineral samples, animal or plant cells, typically magnifying several hundred times. So it's basically a tool used for seeing really small objects. Example, neuron cells. Now, here's a brief history of the microscope. Primitive microscopes called burning glasses were first mentioned by Roman philosophers in the late 1300s. But it was Dutch lens makers Zach Janssen and Hans Lippershey who developed a compound microscope capable of magnifying objects up to 9 times. But they used this discovery to help people see by integrating this technology into their eyeglasses, as it was their job. The real advances were made by Anton van Leeuwenhoek when he was messing around with some different shaped lenses, when he noticed one could be used to greatly enlarge the sample presented under said lenses. He then used this to discover and then study cells. So pretty much founding the study of microscopy and cell theory. After this, there were so many advancements in microscope technology that this would become a full-length documentary instead of just the 1 to 3 minute one on neuron cells. In more recent times, there have been huge steps in the design of the microscope, like electron microscopes, which can zoom in over 10 million times. Compare that to the first compound microscope, which could only zoom in 9 times. Really amazing, isn't it?
Alright, what's up guys? We're here at Walmart.
Thank you for watching this.
We're at the Madrina shelf here.
This was actually
they got some cold brew blacks
so
in there.
I've just added a couple extra.
They also got some
edits in. So
cafe
thank you for watching.
vanillas.
Two subscribers that I have.
And lastly, they got some cafe mocha. But you know what?
If you are.
I'm not seeing any insane cappuccino.
New viewer.
What the hell's going on, man?
Bye.
Fuck it. We'll just get the mocha.